So, yes, for today, I wanted to a bit continue with what we did last week, but then really focus on the measurement of the fats. And it's also a little bit because George has ordered, I don't know if it's already there, but has ordered a scale where you can measure body composition. And so I was thinking, hey, let's give it some thought, and what's actually happening if we are going to look into body fat percentage and muscle and everything. The other uh, um, reason why I think this is interesting to look at is that sometimes you feel, if you do, for instance, a fast and you measure yourself, you just weigh yourself, you say, hey, I lost already 2 or 3 pounds or something like that. And in most cases, that is water. And that is typically something you can measure with a body fat measuring. So that is the kind of the link I wanted to make for tonight. So let's get into it quickly. As usual, I made a little presentation. I know some of the students are coming in a bit later, and we have a couple of new students we invited, but maybe, well, they're not there yet, but maybe they will. So let me just start with the presentation. So let's see if I can find it. And then share my screen. By the way, Marcella, I have been a little bit off myself and Marlies last week. So I know exactly what you're feeling, that, you know, Marlies and I sometimes say, so no, ordinary people, they say they have a flu and then they're totally out. And sometimes we feel that, you know, it's just something nagging. There's something working against you, and you're not energetic. And we went out for a cycle, for a spin this morning, and as soon as you push and you try to get higher heart rates, it simply doesn't work. So I mean that, and Marlies had the same last week, and we just say, hey, you have to accept it. So
and then we are having, for example, 1 week very hot weather, then another week it seems winter again. So we have temperature going really high and down, high, and I think that also affects to our body.
yeah,
Anyway,
right. That's true. And then viruses or little, you know, it can creep in, and then you're off for a couple of days, and then it comes back. You know, all of a sudden you feel healthier again. So, all right. So let's get into this. Right. So I'm going to share. And all right. So this is what I wanted to do for today. Right. So basically, we're looking at body fat percentage. And I made a little program like why we would measure and how we are measuring. And let's first start a bit with the why. And this is one of the things Marlies and I hear most if we are talking with our students about fasting and 3-day fasting and intermittent fasting. And hey, and then they, you know, hey, I lost weight, and I lost already 1 or 2 kilos, or 2 or 3 pounds. But the main thing, of course, is with the body fat percentage. Knowing it is important because losing weight should not be losing should be losing body fat and not body muscle and not water, just like that. And that is definitely something measuring your body fat can help to differentiate. So, and the second thing is the reality is that through physical activity, And sometimes Marlies and I have to be a bit like honest if people say, hey, you know, I really want to lose some weight. But if you are going into physical activity, you both gain weight because you're gaining muscle mass, and you lose weight because of the activity. So what we discussed last week and maybe last week's about the calorie deficit, or the calorie extra that you can have. Of course, if you have a deficit, then you lose weight. But on the other hand, if you're eating right, and then you gain muscle mass at the same time because of your um, basically just because you're training your body, training the muscles. So basically, what we always try to keep in mind is that through changing nutrition, we always go both directions regarding weight. And I have here, I just made them up, 3 examples, like rugby players, judo, or sailing athletes. Uh, they want to gain both muscle and fitness. So basically, um, they want to get, they want to get, oh no, they want to gain bone, muscle, and really fat, because for sailing, you really need, for certain uh, types of sailing, you need weight and muscle. And the same with judo. If you're in higher classes, these guys are not really skin. And the same with the rugby, the defenders, you know, the heavy guys in the defense, they really use the mass they have. So for them, a good nutritional plan is to gain both muscle and fat. Uh, then you have a particular, like sports like tennis. Now Wimbledon started. Sprinters and climbers. Uh, we see nowadays a lot of climbing competition on our TVs. And then you see, hey, these guys are really strong and very light at the same time. So they basically want to gain muscle and to lose fat as much as they can, because they want to have a high power to weight ratio. So, and the final example I have for you is regarding, you know, athletic nutrition. Cyclists are very interesting because, you know, sprinting cyclists, like the 2 Dutch guys who are winning all the sprints on the track, they have huge muscle. I mean, they have huge muscle mass. And at the same time, they don't want to be too heavy on the top. So they have really a very particular body. The opposite is almost the Tour de France uh, uh, contenders, like Pogacar. Uh, they are really skinny to the bone, and they have a reasonable power uh, in their legs, but not compared with the sprinters. But for them, the power to weight ratio again is the most important thing. And then you have the time trial cyclists. They definitely have another body composition because they want to have a big uh, aerobic capacity and relatively strong muscles to be able to maybe push 400 watts or plus for an hour to ride 50 kilometers per hour. And then at the same time, they want to have a very aerodynamic position. So they don't want to be too wide here. So you see that's, you cannot say, hey, I always want to lose weight, and because it's very, very, very activity specific. And then at the same time, through fasting, we do not want to lose weight, but we want to change our body composition to get lean and mean, to clean our digestive system, and to improve our basic metabolism. So, in fact, what Marlies and I feel is when you see fasting advertised as a losing weight uh, product, then it is basically marketing, because fasting is not the way to go for basically losing weight. It's for the purpose I described here. So this is why we want to measure body fat. Well, for everything I just now said, as long as you can measure your body fat when you're doing radical things like changing nutrition, radical sports, fasting, well, we do a very mild way of fasting. If you do radical fasting, you definitely want to keep track of your body fat and your body composition, because then you really know what's going on. And of course, one of the most important things is we don't want to lose muscle mass. That's one of the most important things. So how is the body fat measured? Hello, Sharon. Good to have you.
Hi.
Hi. And well, the most accurate way is the DEXA scans and the hydrostatic weighing. The DEXA scans are basically X-ray absorption to differentiate between bone, muscle, and fat. And then you get a very detailed body composition analysis. That is by far the most precise way of knowing. But of course, this is not a normal thing you can do in the local grocery or a library or even doctor post. So, and the other one is the hydrostatic. I know of that one because in the top sport they have these facilities, and they do it by measuring how much water a person displaces when they are submerged, and then they can calculate the really very accurate the amount of body fat, the percentage. Then more practical is the BIA, the bioelectrical impedance analysis. That is a body fat percentage estimate by sending a small electrical current through the body. And it can be done on different places. And yeah, the more diverse the places are, and of course, the more precise this measuring is, the more precise you can get this estimate for body fat composition. Then the third, I put them together, are basically the skin fold caliper measurement. That's really reasonable accurate. That's what the doctors do themselves. What you can purchase yourself easy, because it's only $15 or so, a caliper, a skin fold caliper. And then they have systems, and I'm going to show you quickly an overview of the systems they have. You take 3 measures or 4 measures, or even there's a system with 7 measures on different places on your body, and then you have a calculation, and then it spits out the body fat percentage. And the good thing about the skin fold caliper measurement is you can do it as a routine, always at the same places by yourself or with your partner, and you can always do the measurement in the same exactly routine. So at least you then have a good view on how your body fat percentage evaluates over time. And then also the third one that's very accessible is the body fat scales. So I know George shared with me, he ordered one, and they are all based on BIA, so the bioelectrical impedance analysis. But they have, it goes through the feet, so you just stand on the scale, and then it measures through the feet the little electrical current. And the little bit the problem with these devices is that there are so many variables that it is really a bit less accurate, and it's a bit difficult to really what's that word, to really control it, to really know if it's really not accurate, or maybe it's pretty close or something like that, because there's no other way you can do it. They also have semi accurate body fat scales, and that's what you see at the gyms. And there you stand on a scale, but in many cases you also have to grab something with your hands, so that they have different ways of measuring the current through your body, not just through the soles of your feet. So yeah, then it becomes, of course, a bit more accurate. near our home, and Marlies and I have a gym, and they just acquired a really a great skill. But of course, that is outside of the kind of $50 or $100 skill prices that we can order them. But that's definitely something that is between a really bioelectrical impedance analysis and really a homemade analysis. So yeah, I wanted to show you quickly. There is a lot of information about how to do it. I wanted to show you this. I hope the links work. Yes. You can find the link, of course, later on in the video, and I'll put them on the link. Also, put them on the platform. I just found this one, but there are many really good guided websites that explain to you how you can do it. This is a good example of a kind of medical website, and they really explain to you how it works. They do a 4-place where you, and then they explain how they want you to do the measure with the caliper, and then they give you a little a table, and then they give you here the measurements. So for the body fat percentage, depending on the total of the measures you did, and then they give you the outcome of body fat percentage, and then for women and for men when it's normal, or when it's a little bit too high or too low. So, and there are many of these, really many of these sites. So then I have here, that's an interesting one. That is a very clearly, because all these medical sites have these abdominal and suprailiac, I don't even know how to say it in English, and Thai and everything. So I found this very helpful, because on this site you can see exactly if they say abdominal. This is really how the doctor wants you to take this measure. If, let's say, if you follow a system for, let's say, 4 measures with a caliper, and one of them is abdominal, then you can see here exactly how they want you to do it. So I find this one very helpful. Then you have many. This is the advertisement. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can skip it here. Right. I found this really almost a bit funny, because you find many videos on YouTube that are, I mean, so clear how you do it. And this woman, this nurse, is really explaining really with everything, all the details, how you do it, how the system works and everything. So I thought I just put this, how not to do it, how to do it, etc. I thought it was almost funny, because it's absolutely almost over the top how accurate and clear she wants to explain everything. But still, it's there, and so we can use it for this purpose. Let me see your greater goods. Yeah, I think this is the one George has acquired. And of course, there are many of these devices. But also, what I thought was nice, because this device has a really, really good support with very good a video and everything. And then they also have here below, but I don't know where I saw that, but a really good explanation of I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So body fat, the percentages and everything, and what it should be, and they explain it. And then they also explain the different results they have about, I think it's here. Yeah. So they have the body fat percentage, the water weight percentage, the muscle mass percentage, and the bone mass percentage. And you have to real. I just show it to you because you can see they really you have products that really explain it well. But on the other hand, you have to realize that this is an estimate based on one variable, which is that little current that they send you through your feet. So you really don't know how accurate it is, but at least they give you these specifics about your body weight percentage, your muscle mass percentage, your bone mass percentage. But for us, the main purpose is to check your body fat because that's pretty easy measurable with the caliper. And then the final thing is, oh, sorry, that's the same. All right, this is how easy accessible they are. So I thought these were doctors stuff and everything, but there you can just purchase them for $15 on Amazon, which is of course very cheap. Oh, and this is what I found interesting. I know you guys all like numbers and research and everything, and if you start searching, you will find and I think, George, you will definitely find this interesting because then you have researches on uh, bioelectrical impedance measurements versus the BMI with the caliper and everything. And that's really helpful to really understand how these two processes work. And they really compare it, and then yeah, that gives you a lot of good insights. I definitely like that kind of background information, what you can find if you start searching here. So this is basically what I wanted to show you from what's out there available. And the most important thing, of course, for me is why you would want to know the body fat percentage. And the main reason is that we are in our program, so the program we are doing, we are changing physical activities because we are adapting, Marlies and I are adapting the programs of most of you in all directions. With some programs, we are going to change the amount of strength training. With others, we are going to change the amount of length and endurance and or the type of trainings we do. Of course, we change nutrition. We really make big changes sometimes in the whole nutritional plan, and we are doing fasting. So in our view, if you want to know what's going on, then ordering I mean this caliper measurement is just $15, and at least you can then also know exactly if you're losing weight through losing a bit of fat, or maybe you're losing weight and the fat remains the same, so then you know that you're losing weight because of you losing a bit of muscle, and that's what we don't want. So that's basically the background of the whole story. All right. So I'm going to stop my share here. And of course, please feel free to ask any questions. Or maybe George, maybe you can you tell, did you have it? Do you have it
Oh,
already?
not yet. I ordered it. It was with the same company. I bought a couple of scales, and they're inexpensive scales, just for body weight only. And I just, went back to the same company to see if they had
Yeah.
something with the body fat, and then you showed it. They measure 6 parameters on it, and it's still less than $50. So it's body weight, BMI, body fat, muscle mass, bone density, water weight. So I thought I'd give them a go because
Yes.
inexpensive. It's just 3 or 4 AAA batteries, and you're good. So yeah, no, I'm kind of psyched because with the new nutrition protocol that you have us on, and going to the higher protein and less than 100 grams of carbs and stuff. I want to kind of monitor, how that changes over time, because, now I'm trying to, in addition to the endurance stuff, I've already been working with Marlies on, just to support the running, working to increase strength for some of these other things I do.
Right.
And trying to get a good balance there. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing a high rocks in December, so I gotta get some leg strength for pushing a sled and pulling a sled.
Yeah, and in your case, because you have these basically ambitious physical goals, then I definitely support knowing what your fat percentage is, because then you know your body weight, your body fat percentage, so you can be a bit more accurate in saying what results are. Right? Yes,
So,
Marcella, please.
So in a day or two, I should get the scale. It's on its way.
Yeah, and by the way, did you order a caliper at the same time, or do you have already a caliper?
I'm holding off on that for now. I mean, if the scale gives good numbers, maybe I don't need another. But I mean, but if it's kind of off, then maybe I'll get the calipers too.
Yeah, but if you don't want to, I will do it anyway, because I am going to order the caliper, and of course I have the luxury of this high-end scale at the gym below our home, so then I can check if the numbers are close. So I'll give you guys the feedback on that. Yes, Marcella, please.
Yeah. So two things. Some months ago, they bought a new scale that until now I'm using just the body weight, but now that you're speaking about the handles, this scale has some handles you can. So I think I have to look inside, right? Because maybe has the possibility to measure the body fat.
Definitely.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I have
yes.
a generic. Yeah. No. About the fact, the body fat. I heard some years ago that some doctors say that after a certain age, maybe 70, 75, it's better to have a little bit more fat than to be less slim. But is this something that is right? And if it is in this way, for what reason? Why with the age is better to have a little bit more fat than to have less? If it is true, because you know that many times doctors have some doctors in some countries have some opinions, other doctors have other opinions. So I don't know what can be. What you think?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely have a view on this. If doctors say it is okay to have a bit more of fat, then I think that's the trap, because it depends on what is a bit more fat of what. And in general, if you look at all the scales, because when I did the research this week, I looked at all the scales with the calipers and the fat percentages and everything. The fat percentage is already going up. I mean, the normal 50th percentile fat percentage is already going up as we get older. So for what should be normal, that is already there. So in all the skills, I saw that. So I don't know if it has to be then extra more or something like that. It's already normalized that as you get older, you have relatively a little bit more fat, but it is only a tiny bit. It's just really a tiny bit. And the concern, most innovative doctors like Dr. Peter Tia and Huberman and all these doctors who are now concerned with more like public health and longevity, is the amount of muscle. And that's the big concern, that people who in our general Western society, we accept people who are getting older are getting less muscular. And then you have all these stories about that's normal and everything. But there are a lot of doctors now who are saying it's the opposite, that as long as you keep training as getting older, you can keep your muscle mass. And of course, it will be relatively maybe a little bit less than when you're 30, but you can still remain the muscle mass that's required to stay and to, I mean, to get older and to climb stairs getting older, and to lift a grandkid as you're getting older, and to put your case in the cabin overhead as you're getting older. And I think that Marlies and I share that concern. We don't bother too much about body fat as we get older, as long as we're living the life that we're living, that we're trying to promote through Centerton. But the challenge is always to keep your muscle mass, and that is all. That the only way you can do it is by moving and physical activity and exercise.
Okay.
And one more thing, Marcella, it is so difficult because there also here in our European kind of Dutch, we have these health societies that have they publish the so-called standards on insulin and weight and BMI, you know, all these standards that are there, but they're gliding scales. These standards are lowered as the society is getting more and more unhealthy, because then they say, hey, let's say regarding glucose in your blood, the threshold has always been below 100 in all countries. And today in America, the National Health Association says it can be between 100 and 120 still okay. They really say it's still okay, but that is plain pre-diabetic. So in the old school, you would be pre-diabetic, and now they say, well, it's okay. Yeah, they say it's okay because there are so many people in America are on these levels. So, and that's with a lot of things, with weight, with body fat, with BMI, all these numbers. Yeah, and you know, that's a little bit the danger.
That might change with the new administration. Some of those changes might get rolled back, but we'll see.
Yeah,
yeah,
we have to see. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, which we call, I don't know if you know the expression, we call it as shifting the baseline syndrome. And that's the word that they use if they adjust the baseline time over time, because, and then in a direction that it shows where we are with the masses, but not for the good. So be careful with the numbers if they adjust it, because if you look at pictures from, we had some beautiful days here lately for people go to the beach, and then you get all these pictures. You guys will know these pictures on social media, how we looked 30 years ago, 40 years ago when we went to the beach, our body composition compared to how it is now. Well, I think with the new numbers, the BMI or whatever they call it, we are under fat in 1970, 1975 or 1980s, if you look at these pictures, because we are so skinny compared to how we look right now when you go to the beach and wearing your bathing suit. So yeah, and I think keep an eye on yourself, look in the mirror, and how you feel is a good indicator as well. Yeah.
Yeah. When you were saying this, I was, of course,
looking for the picture. There you go.
But It's really true. If you look at pictures of people in the 70s, what you see here, most are what we would call today slim. They really have a different look. Yeah, it's a whole different feel of how people looked back then, and that's the gliding skills. But what did you say, Marlies? What's the official term?
Shifting baseline syndrome.
The syndrome, yes. So we are constantly shifting the baseline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, with the text is the same. It's always changing not in the benefit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any further questions on the body fat percentage measuring? Is anyone of you doing it already? Do you have really a measure of what it is right now?
Well, Baz, I've been using this device for about 20 years, eh? So, and I'm unfortunately I'm pretty obsessed about stuff. So I make measurements virtually every day that I exercise. So I have a lot of records of how things are with me. And I don't really compare with anyone else. I just compare with myself. And I've got a Tanita scale, and it's a full segmental scale. So I get left arm, right arm, torso, left leg, right leg, the whole tutti frutti. And it was expensive. It was probably over $300. But over 10, 15 years, it doesn't really matter. And the way I see these scales is it might not be accurate to medical grade, but at least I think I'm getting a good repeatability,
Right.
so that I can see what's changing and how things are going. And
Yes.
that's valuable to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So I can easily see if I'm dehydrated because I know what my average water percentage content is, for
Yep.
example. And that was very valuable if I was doing a lot of endurance in heat. Then I would be able to figure out how much water I need to take in during an activity to keep hydrated.
Yeah. And that's how you use it, because you know your own numbers and then you can compare it with your own numbers. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great tool. I think if a person is very interested, and by the way, just like that calorie counter app, that we spoke about last week, that's a great tool. I love it because
Good.
it's so easy to fill in. One comment on that though, I'm surprised that they didn't allow a person to edit the quantities so that you could put in fractional amounts. So for example, you take 10% yogurt, they'll say, okay, 175 grams, 210 calories. But supposing that you've got 250 grams, 250 grams, not 175 grams. So that's a little bit limiting. I haven't discovered, at least they don't show it, whether you can make a fractional amount or not. And the same thing, like for a cup of coffee, it would be nice to just put down 3 cups of coffee rather than having to add the item 3 times.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I had 3 cups of coffee, but let me check mine.
I think you can, when you're doing your meals, making your own meal plans. That's how I do it, and it lets you put the fractions in as well.
Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you.
That's the way I do it anyway.
Yeah.
I've just been lazy, so I've just been looking up the standard quantities, and so I haven't gone to the point of I'm going to make my own custom meal here, but I'll give it a go.
Especially if it's the repeat, I find that the repeat ones make it really easy. My morning coffee has everything in it because I put it in my meal thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, they ask on this screen the servings and how much and to which meal. So you can really make it your own. And then, yeah, the amount of servings, how much it is. Yeah. So, yeah, give it a try.
So yeah, what you're
Ryan.
saying is if you make the serving size much smaller, then you can make more differentiated total amounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay,
may
that'd
be
be
another
great.
answer. Yeah, that may be another
Yeah.
answer. So that instead of having a cup of yogurt or something like that, maybe you can do like 10 grams of yogurt as a serving, and then do 20 servings.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I don't know. I'm just making it up
Yeah,
here.
you totally
Yeah.
can. Yeah, totally. And they only give you, unfortunately, they have certain increments. Where you're making your meal, you actually can have more fractions. But sometimes when you're actually entering it in, it says, it has a bit of a limitation in that, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It's free.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
it's a great app. I mean, it really keeps you on your toes.
That's right. Yes. And what we find is that, of course, you guys now are ahead, but Marlies and I now have a couple of new Centerton members, and they're getting into it. And most people don't have a really clear view of their nutritional pattern. So they say, yeah, but I'm already low on carbs and I'm already controlling it, and maybe proteins, yeah, that's enough. And then you start tracking, and then you find totally different things. So that's definitely the power. You don't need to do it your whole life, but at least if you do it for a couple of maybe days or weeks, and then you don't do it for a couple of time, and then your patterns are changing again, and then it's good to do it and redo it and to see where you actually are.
Is on the body fat percentage, Baz, is it on those websites? It's been a while since I've done my body fat because it's not something I think I have high body fat anyway, or I have had in the past, and so I've kind of tried not to know, kind of head in the sand. But it just I forgot what I should be, or like where's the line? I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, but I mean, there is of course the official charts.
Yeah, is there a better chart than another? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's more you get the chart. I mean, if you do the measurements with the scale or with the caliper, you will get a number, and that number is your body fat percentage, and then you can look in the scales. What they say is normal or a little bit overweight and things, but I think that's so arbitrary. I mean, that's totally up to you.
Yeah, that's why it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So and I think it even depends per differs per country, and then inside of the countries you have these sometimes competing associations that with all the doctors with all their publications and everything. So yeah, if you would ever want to know it, and you do a measure somewhere for you, Sharon, and you want to share the percentage with us, then we can discuss it. But that I think that is as everything you need to do, because it's not like a public thing, or it's just a little bit of a indication of where you are.
Yeah. I used to have calipers, but I just ran downstairs and I couldn't find them. It's been too long since I used them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'll say something about that. If you put your finger around your wrist like this, and your thumb and your index finger don't touch, you see mine are a big distance apart. So what rule of thumb is this tells a person that I got big bones. And this
Right.
tells a person that I'm a heavy person. And and that goes for my height, let's say. And that will also determine these kinds of percentages that we're talking about. For example, when I was working in Vietnam, and most of these people in height were the same height as me, and I played soccer with them, and I bumped into a guy once, and I knocked him flying because I was literally 30 pounds heavier than him. And that's what I'm talking about. So that guy is going to have a lot different body composition than me. And so, you know, with respect to me and exercising, and I think I've said this to you before, is if I am too skinny or too light, I don't feel super strong. So for me, I would rather be fatter. I think I think I operate better that way. So
Me
it's a
too.
very personal thing.
Yeah,
Agree
agree.
100%. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I live with Marlies, and for Marlies applies exactly the same. She performs better when she's a bit heavier.
Yeah.
I mean, really body fat heavier.
And I get sick. I get sick if I'm too skinny. You know, nothing is working
Yeah.
100%. I think you know, too much obsession with being light is also a problem.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of right now. That
Yeah.
it's not you shouldn't be obsessed with losing weight. It's having the right weight. And I think what you did, Brian, is basically to know where you are. If you know the numbers in fat and everything in the composition, and you know, and you make notes, hey, at this levels I feel okay, at this levels I did and this and this and that, then you know what applies for you, and then you achieved it. Right. I have this. In the meantime, I found. Do you remember the image of the beach in the 70s? And now I found this one very recent in 2022, and it's just
Oh, wow.
yeah. But this is just a picture of a article that has nothing to do with body weight. This is a picture about the beach in the Netherlands, the Business Insider Netherlands. So, and this is a typical picture they take. And then you see the difference. I thought it was funny. It was one of the first images I found of beach life and beach. So, all right. But this
if you took one in America, it would be worse than that.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
But I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, we're not that far off, Sharon. I think it's the whole society that is just like that. So yeah, okay. So but we're here for really understanding what we're doing, and I mean really controlling what we're doing. So yeah, for today we had this discussion about measuring the body fat. I'm definitely a bit inspired by George, his enthusiasm of ordering this device. And now you, Brian, thanks. And I'm definitely going to do it. I also going to compare it with the more professional stuff, because I think that's important as well.
Yeah.
So we may want to purchase George's scale. You know, George, we're using you a little bit. If the scales gets in and it works well, then we are going to order your scale, and then I'm going to check the scale, the caliper, and the semi-professional downstairs in the club, and see what the measures are, and then I give you the feedback in maybe a month or two. Yes, Marcella, please.
I saw on Amazon the brand that you show. I mean the Sequoia. Do you think that can be a good brand?
Oh, I don't. I have no idea. No,
Okay.
but
Anyway, it's $16. $16.
I think
oh,
it's from
the caliper.
made in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the caliper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. I can answer this because I've watched a lot of videos of all these nurses and all these ladies and all the doing all kind of the
Yeah.
caliper measurements, and they are all using this one. So
Okay.
this Sequoia
Sequoia.
thing is probably one of the better ones because they're all using
Okay.
this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think this can be a bad one because they're basically using it. So and it's still very cheap.
And by measuring your body fat, you actually then know your muscle composition to some degree. Then is that not true?
No, not really, because there's the water percentage,
No.
and the water fluctuates a lot, and that is best measured through the little currents. So with the scales that have these ability,
Mm.
you know, but
Yeah.
at least with the body fat measuring, so with the caliper, if you are suddenly losing weight, like in fasting, or in I mean, if you do a very long day of sports and everything, then basically you can assure yourself that your body weight is a number, your body fat percentage is a number, and then probably you will lose water because of that. And that's what Marlies and I see. If people say, "Hey, I did 3 soccer games today, and I lost 2 or 3 kilos," then you can be totally sure the weight loss is water, and then by measuring your fat, you're pretty sure you're not losing muscle either. So that's for me. You can already.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you know one measure you know better through the caliper. And of
Yeah.
course what George ordered with a skill like that, you can automatically, and what Brian did for already 20 years,
Yeah.
you can automatically see it. And of course that's perfect, but then you don't know exactly if it's
Right.
the real measure. But at least what Brian says, I have my personal relative, I mean, over the years, what it should be and what it not should be.
Well, after my half marathon, I lost 5 pounds.
Right.
So, and it's still off 2 weeks
Oh,
later.
really?
Yeah. So, I'm just curious. So we have a scale, actually, one of the girls brought in the scale, sounds like George's. We haven't hooked it up yet for to check it out and see, but I think I'll get the calipers and then look at that scale and just check and see what all it has on there. Just curiosity for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
I don't want
absolutely.
to, I don't want to keep losing weight for sure.
Yeah.
I've already lost like, 25 pounds since January. So that's like a lot, you know. But it was just the timing of everything as well. I've been working out for a couple of years of, building your muscle and stuff. So it's how when you hit that note, it's like, okay, then it just goes. I know that that's part of it, so I'm not worried about it, but I just thought it's still since I did the run is 5 pounds and it's still off. So it couldn't have just been water. But
Yeah,
that's
but yeah, that's a good point, Sharon. I think if it's a concern, then it's definitely worth considering purchasing a skill like George is doing, because then
we have one. We have one at the gym.
right, then I would definitely do it.
Yeah.
So that's one answer, but the other
Yeah.
answer is losing weight so quickly. Do you remember in the beginning of the year, we had these discussions also with numbers about how much calories are in a gram of fat and a gram of protein and a gram of carbs in
Yeah.
your body. And yeah, basically it's the rule of thumb is per one gram of fat delivers 9 calories if you are a real optimized fat burner. But let's say it is, then to lose if you burn 200 grams of fats, it's already giving you so many calories, like 2,000, and that's only 200 grams. So I'm always a bit puzzled with how you can lose so much weight after an event and then that the weight stays down. I'm always puzzled with that, because it's almost basically it's energetically impossible to lose it from fats, because you simply can't burn so much. So
Right.
then I would really be interested to check it out on a scale and to see actually what's happening. Is it water percentage, body composition, or is it protein? I'm sorry, is it muscle or is it fat? Ryan, do you maybe did you have that in the past?
Yeah. Oh, sure. So, I mean, I think a lot about exactly what you're talking about. Um, with the full body composition scale, it's dual frequency, and you get a readout of visceral fat as a number from 1 to 10 or 1 to 12. You get your muscle mass, you get all kinds of things. So you have a very good idea exactly what's going on. And then as far as the actual muscle is concerned, it even gives you a muscle quality score. So you can immediately see if you've got a problem with your muscles. I mean, we did the sardine fasting, we did fasting, we did all kinds of things in January. And just like Sharon was saying, I mean, I lost about maybe 4 kilograms, and that stayed off, for the whole month. So, and I was tracking it on the scale. So I was pretty sure that I'd actually lost weight. It wasn't just dehydration, but I didn't feel very strong. And I decided I want to get back to my regular weight. And it took me a whole week of eating a lot to get back to where I was. So I think what we were discussing some weeks ago was post exercise oxygen depletion, where your body keeps burning to make up for an exercise several days after the exercise.
Mm.
And so I think that, if you're in deficit or even eating not overly much after like a half marathon or marathon, you'll end up with a permanent weight loss. I think you actually your body keeps on burning for quite several days after the exercise at an elevated rate.
Mhm.
So
I would
I
see
think
that,
it
yeah.
I think that's sort of what's happening with the internal functioning, is that you've somehow sped up your body burning rate until it comes back to equilibrium. But by the way, I'll make one other interesting comment. The easiest way to raise your VO2 max is to lose weight.
Yes,
Of course, you might not feel so good, but you'll have a higher VO2 max.
absolutely. Yeah, you are.
And I did it went up to 38, and my average is 36. And after the
Sure.
run, 38, and it's sort of been staying around 38 when I do my runs now. So that's interesting.
So that's why a lot of the non-North American and non-European runners have a great advantage over us because they're light.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I'm running a marathon and I'm competing against someone who is like 30 pounds lighter than me, it's a terrible disadvantage. I would like to be skinny, up top, but it just isn't like that. So running wouldn't be a great sport for me anyway. I'm just not built right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's something we're going to discuss on the next week's group session.
Absolutely. Yes.
That was interesting. My trainer actually
Maybe
told
that's
me.
why triathlon is more of a European sport.
Yeah, and
because it requires more
Scandinavian-
power.
Yeah, Scandinavian people, German people. So yeah, European sport. You're right. Yeah, yeah, interesting.
But you take
You
a
got-
look at those Africans. You look at those Africans. They got like skinny muscles. Like there's no weight anywhere, and they fly.
Yeah,
Yes,
They're super light.
yeah.
Light
That's
is
right.
right, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, travel light, live easy, but that's a different discussion.
Okay, very good.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Well then, thank you so much again for all the input, and please, George, let us know, and I'll keep you posted on my research on all the devices. And I think we have
Thanks.
Brian. We have Brian as the big overview of all his 20 years of experience, who can.
Maybe he could put Brian's machine into your list there too. That might-
Oh yeah, Brian. Yeah, please send it to me. Your the machine you have, the device.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye
Bye.
bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Nice seeing you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.